bruh, bruh, bruh. Well, hey there, everybody. So, we are going to talk about Streets of Rogue, and we're going to do it without talking about Streets of Rage. That's right, no Streets of Rage references, no Streets of Rage 2, certainly no Streets of Rage 3. Anyway, we're not going to reference those things at all. We're just going to talk about Streets of Rogue, a game that came out in 2019, developed by Matt Dabrowski, and published by Little Bit, something like that. I forget what they're called. Hold on, hold the phone. Tiny Build, that's the one. That's the one that I'm talking about. Anyway, so Streets of Rogue is a beat-em-up roguelite that emphasizes player choices and non-linear gameplay within the procedurally generated levels. Now, saying procedurally generated, of course, the question is, like, how different do the levels feel? Because there is procedural generation where it feels completely different from level to level, and there is procedural generation where it feels kind of samey. Like even a great game like Dead Cells, even though the actual specific layout of the levels changes from playthrough to playthrough, the fact is that it does have a samey feel, just because of the way that those levels are generated and the way that they are thematically put together. Now, granted, you're going to see me spending time in only one type of level. I haven't gotten out of the slums in my gameplay of this yet. There are a few other areas that you can get into once you get out of the slums, but yeah, I'm still stuck in the slums, so that's what you're going to be seeing, is what those slums look like, and different levels within the slums, because each of those areas has multiple levels that you can go to, different floors with different layouts, and that is the way that they go. Now, when I first started playing this game, I didn't know whether or not I was going to enjoy it at all, because there is a little bit of a learning curve. You know, the game does try to tell you where to go and what to do, but it's hard to interpret those signs at first when you don't really know what you're doing. And yes, there is a tutorial, but in order to access it, you have to choose to go to home base first, rather than to just quick start the mission. And the quick start is the first option, and so it's hard not to choose that immediately and to, like, go to home base and then find the guy with the word tutorial over his head. You know, it's not always easy to remember that you need to get to that tutorial, and by the time I figured out where to find it, I already knew how to play the game. So, yeah, if you don't go to the tutorial first, and quite frankly, I haven't done the tutorial, so I have no idea how effective it is at teaching you how to do the things. But it is there, I guess. So once you get over the learning curve, it does start to get more fun. Like a lot of roguelikes and roguelites, part of the process is dying a few times and then figuring out how you died so that you don't do that the next time. And this game really is a little bit punishing in terms of the choices that you make. You can, and indeed I have, killed every single person in a level. You can do that. It's fine. You can kill every person, destroy every piece of everything within the level. That is something that you can do. It's advisable not to, because you're going to take a lot of damage that way, but make your choices as you will. Now, one of the things that helps you get over the learning curve is to get some unlocks, and there are multiple different characters. There are even customizable characters that you can build yourself, And unlocking some of these characters will help you along the way. There are also rewards and things that you can unlock, those roguelite-ish things. You get nuggies. You get chicken nuggies. I have no idea why chicken nuggies, probably just because it's funny. But you get chicken nuggies for accomplishing different missions and as a reward for different things that you do in level. And then you can spend those nugs if you, after death, choose to go to home base rather than going straight into selecting a character and going into a new playthrough. So, and quite frankly, again, that might be explained in the tutorial. I had to learn that through trial and error. Anyway, you get your nugs, you can pick up different character buffs, you can adjust your loadout for the next level, you can choose to unlock new rewards that will be available when you complete missions, etc. And that all helps with the replayability of the game, but also helps to mitigate the level of difficulty that you might be having in getting through the levels. Now, when you approach each level, it like I said before, it's non-linear. You can choose where to go and what to do. You have to finish the regular missions before you can get on the elevator and go anywhere, but those missions are pretty well outlined. It's a good idea once you get into a level to go and scout around and look at, like, okay, if I'm trying to neutralize this guy, I have to break into this whole area, and then I have to probably kill these 3 people, and this guy has a really powerful weapon, so I need to be prepared for that. And so, you know, something like that you might save for later versus like, oh, that's just one guy in a room by himself, and I need to beat him up and take his stuff to complete the mission. That's one that I'll take on immediately, you know. And scouting around, looking at how best to do things, you know, checking if there's a front and a back entrance. Is there an easier route of egress for, you know, completing a mission? These are things that you really have to think about. In addition to the regular missions, there are big quests, and the big quest will depend on your character. Like, for example, if you choose to play as the vampire, which is probably my favorite character, you can bite people on the neck to heal yourself up, which is really fun. So every character has its own unique play style. Like, for instance, the jock cannot hack any computers. They'll just tell you, that's some nerd stuff, I don't know how to do that. And so when it comes to hacking computers to unlock doors and things like that, he can't do it. He can smash the computer, but anything else is beyond his limitation. With the vampire, you know, you do have that option to suck people's blood and whatnot, but there are downsides as well. And also, like I was saying about the big quest if you're the vampire is to find the hidden werewolf in every level, which means you're gonna kill a handful of people on suspicion of being the werewolf, because you will not know who the werewolf is until you attack them. They will not reveal themselves to be the werewolf until you attack them. You have this little spidey sense thing that helps you to find where they are generally, but you're going to kill some people. That's just part of the game. Same thing is true if you're the cannibal. The cannibal eats people. Obviously, that's what cannibals do. And it'll give you a certain type of person, you know, kill an office drone, kill a ninja, kill whomever, a policeman. Yeah, and also the farther you get in the levels, the more police there are. You can bribe the police so that they'll stay off your tail if you have enough money to do so, or you can wait till the police go away, or you can just murder the police if they get too nosy about your illegal crimes and whatnot that you are perpetrating, because pretty much everything you do in level is a crime of some sort. So, yeah, just be prepared for some crimes. And, however you approach the level, whether it be more sneaking around, whether it be more, kicking open doors and shooting people in the face with shotguns, or beating them over the head with crowbars, or whatever. It's a very violent game, but it's also very cartoony, has a very funny sense of humor, which is good. That's what I like about it, is the sense of humor. And it has high replayability because every playthrough is different. The missions that you're going to have to complete are different. You might choose a different character rather than the one that you played the time before, and that will completely change the way that you approach the level. The hacker is really good with the technology, but they're not super good at melee combat, and you have to take that into account. The gorilla is excellent at melee combat, and it has really high health stats, but one of the things other people can do is recruit other characters within the game to do your dirty work for you, assuming you have enough money which you will get for completing missions and or stealing it. Stealing it'll get it faster. Killing people, a lot of times killing innocent people, that'll get you money. So yeah, there are a lot of questionably legal ways of going about your missions and the ways that you do things. But yeah, the downside of the gorilla is that he can't speak English, and so he can't recruit other players. But the other players, if you're playing as, say, for instance, the basic starting character is like a bum, a homeless type person. I forget what they're called. They have a name for them in game, and I'm not remembering. It's not bum, it's not hobo, it's not homeless person. It's something else. I completely forget. But if you're choosing that person, your basic starting person, you can hire other people. There are gangsters you can hire. Also, interacting with the other players, some people have little shops, and some people are selling drugs that can give various benefits and whatnot. And there's a lot of things you can do, like you can slip poison into the air filtration systems in some buildings and kill everybody inside that way, and you would get that poison either from killing or making a deal with a drug dealer. It's all kinds of things that you can do, and you really do have to make your choices, and the AI is pretty solid. The other characters will make choices about when and how to interact with you, whether or not to attack you, depending on whether or not you are intruding, etc., etc. And also, if they get really low health, they will try to run away from you, and you might not want to let them. And so, you can have a hilarious chase sequence or whatever. And yeah, because this is a roguelite, some of the things, you get your chicken nuggies, and you can unlock various things between levels which will remain permanent. And then there are a number of things that you can choose inside the level, and those ones are not permanent. They don't stay with you after you die. So very much like any other roguelite that you've ever heard of. Anyway, it's a really fun game. Does not necessarily present itself well right off the bat, but it does get a lot more fun over time, and I had a lot of fun playing it. Let me put a final score on it. So final score wise, we are going an 8 out of a possible 10 muscle action figures. Yeah, that's right. I went guts action figures yesterday. We're going muscle today. And if you're the sort of person who is like, hey, those are little rubber guys, I like little rubber guys. Well, guess what? There's a little rubber guys community, and they have message boards. There's a website with all kinds of information. If you go to littlerubberguys.com, you can learn all about, Marvel heroics. You can learn about muscle figures, guts, any little rubber guys that you could think of, and a lot of other action figures besides. Pretty nerdy site, but seem like that kind of nerd. So enjoy. Go see some little rubber guys. Anyway, that's going to do it for me in this one. I will see you in the next one. Okay, bye.